Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for watching today. We once again had a little Instagram hiccup, so here we are again on Zoom. So probably things will change now in the future. But I'm happy that you decided to switch on today. That I'm going to talk with Lena. We have been really excited about doing this because when we meet, we always talk about a lot of different things, including alignment. And I know alignment is not a buzzword. It's not like, oh my God, I need to get into alignment. It's not trendy at all. Like nobody's saying, how can I get more aligned? But we just realized that as basic, well, it's not basic at all, but as something which is really not like attractive in some way, how important it is. And so Lena she will tell you a little bit more about herself, but she's an alignment therapist, a Kalevalainen jäsenkorjaus. She can say it better than I, but I also take her treatments regularly. And she's also a Purna Yoga teacher. So she took the training a few years back, and she's been assisting me in a teacher training as well. So the yoga and that what you do, it very much comes together, right? Because if you think Purna Yoga, alignment-based asana, and then the alignment therapy. So when I looked up what alignment actually means, it's really only like the definition was how to bring your muscular skeletal system into the place that it's in balance, that everything is kind of in the right place, right? So there's nothing really so fancy about it, but because nobody really thinks about it, it becomes very, very special. So now, Lena, now you got the word. So tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got to what you're doing, and yeah, a little bit more about on alignment.
Mm. Hello, thank you for inviting me. First of all, yeah, so my name is Leena, and I'm a Kalevalainen jäsenkorjaaja, which is a Finnish traditional alignment therapy method. And I myself got into this method, this work, through my own back pain, which is really the common story. So many of us have some issue and we don't find any remedy or any help for it. And then usually if we get help from this tradition, from this treatment, and then people start studying, get more interested, and then they start practicing. This is like one of the most usual pathways. And I had such an intense back pain over 10 years ago when my son was a baby after giving birth. For over a year, I thought that I'm not going to walk straight anymore. And I was seeing myself in a wheelchair, actually. The pain was so constant. And it was just really, really difficult. And I went to different treatments. I tried different kinds of sports. Nothing was really found to be wrong there. So it was really like a mysterious pain, and there was no explanation for it. And then my friend was studying this method, and I had a practice treatment with her. And already in the first treatment, I felt such a relief and a long-standing effect. Like it didn't go away with one treatment, which is reasonable because it had been there for such a long time. But it helped so much. And after that treatment, I then started first studying myself and then practicing myself. And really, what was wrong in my body was that there was this difference in the length of my legs. So in this treatment, we think that actually the legs are never naturally at different lengths. They're always the same length. There is just something that is distorting the balance. There is something that's kind of like pulling the body in the wrong position so that the legs kind of appear to be in a different length. And that's like the foundation or the basis of the body, that your legs, the foundation of your body should be solid and aligned, because then your spine builds on that, and your arms and the whole muscular skeletal system really builds on that. So when that was corrected in my body through the treatments, then the pain disappeared. It's just the natural effect of being aligned.
Amazing, because the body basically compensates for the misalignment, right? If I don't know if it says if you call it misalignment, but when it's out of alignment, some muscle has to basically keep you in place.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as you start to bring them back to where they're supposed to be, they're supporting.
Yes, and this is, in a way, it's this idea of, is it homeostasis in English?
Yeah.
Like that there is always this balance in the body. And like even sickness can be, or a misalignment can be in a way a point of balance. It's the best your body can do at that time. Like it can keep you in that position and keep you functioning, but only for a certain time. But it doesn't have the resources on its own to take you back into alignment. Like you need some external influence, like therapeutic movement in yoga, or a treatment, or something that gives your body the tools to bring itself back into alignment. And without that, it kind of reaches towards the next point of balance, which is actually a more misaligned stage. And this is, you could think that this is like how some arthritis develops, or some illness, that your body is keeping itself in a certain balance, and then it kind of falls into like a little bit less of balance, and then it keeps there like for a few years maybe, and then a little bit less balance again. And you always, when you're in the point of balance, you feel that, okay, I'm kind of functioning in this stage where I am. But to get back kind of towards more alignment, like we're working in yoga asanas, we're always working towards alignment.
Mm-hmm.
Works so well with this treatment. It's completely the same idea, that we're going somewhere.
Yeah, it's super fascinating because when I teach asana nowadays, that I have a little bit more understanding, it almost takes like 20 years that you really know what you're actually doing. That when I want to put people back into alignment, it always feels like that okay, I can see that straight line, and which is very hypothetical, it's just a straight line, but like how did we move away from that line, right? So how all the habits we do every day, all day long, they are just moving us further away from it, like you just explained. And then I feel like, how can I bring them back now? How can they themselves bring them back also mentally, right? Because it's also in the mind that you feel like my back is just like that. And if you accept that your back is just like that, you will always have this kind of back. But if you decide at one point that like I can go back into that homeostasis, into that balance where I'm supposed to be, then it shifts. It completely shifts mentally as well. And that's what I think is so fascinating, to do that as a combination.
Yes, yes. And now what you're saying brings into my mind this like how much our modern mind is also kind of revolving around diagnosis. And of course, it's good to have like diagnosis, like it's a tool, but often we think that it's some kind of a like end point. Like,
Mhm.
for example, like I'm diagnosed with arthritis, and I think that, okay, I'm done, I have arthritis, there's very nothing or very little I can do about it. So we don't have this kind of fluidity in the mind and trust in the body's ability to actually repair itself once we give it the direction of
Mm.
that, we start going towards this more alignment, or better alignment, or like a better point of balance. Because it's well, in the treatments, what I've seen is that almost I could say that regardless of age, the body can have an amazing ability to heal and repair. It's just, if we, but that, just like as you said, that if we decide in the mind that, okay, I can't do anything about this, then that's already, it's an obstacle, it's a challenge for the body
Yeah.
to get over that, like, because the body always wants to heal, and then if the mind is in the way telling that no, you can't go there, you can't, then it becomes very frustrating for the body, actually, to, because it needs the mind that, you know, it can
To
move
support it. Yeah.
exactly to
Yeah.
hey, come on this way, and we go here, and of course our emotions, feelings are there, like they play a major role as well, because the mind and the feelings, they work together as well.
Yes, so that means also when you do treatments, you're not actually only work on the physical body, because as soon as you start to release something physiological, the mind starts to go, the emotion starts to go, right? So there's changes from that as well.
Yes, and often, like in yoga, there can be some feeling that surges, or an emotion, or like we can cry in a yoga class or after a yoga class when something releases. And it's of course similar in the physical treatments, that there can be an old, like, emotional energy, which for some reason doesn't flow out of the body as it should, and then it stays in the tissue fabric, and then it kind of starts creating its own nest there. And also that can, as we know, that can also create even like this, what is it in English, liikerajoitus, like it restricts the movement even.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah,
like
fascinating.
like we don't have the full outer rotation, because there's something in the emotional side holding in the muscles, like it doesn't let us open, or
Yes, so tension basically is that it's not just tension which we just build up because we've been maybe sitting too much, but something which maybe over the years, a belief system, something, okay, this is how I am. And as soon as you start going deeper into that, then the body starts to suddenly release as well. It's like so fascinating.
it is, yeah. And often I hear this phrase, like, that, yeah, but it's not just the emotions, like there is something like wrong in the body, like, you know, this kind of like, the root cause is not the emotion. And of course you don't even have to know what the root cause is, but
Yeah.
it's the emotional tension, it has to come out before you can work yourself towards better alignment. So it can just be that, I often think that the body is like this, like if we think that there are these like streams or rivers flowing through the body.
Yeah.
For example, if I twist my ankle, um, there is some physical tension created, and the movement is restricted in the ankle. And because the emotional energy also flows in the body, then in that area which has been affected, it doesn't flow maybe quite as fast or easy as it used to flow. So it starts to build up. So it's like, you know, what is the egg and what is the hen? It's in a way an irrelevant question, but then the important question is like that, what is there now, and how to release it? Like we don't have to think so much of like what happened, why did it, you
Mm-hmm.
know, happen exactly this way, but yeah.
Yeah, it's very fascinating. And I always have to think about when I was in your treatment, that you suddenly, say like, okay, this leg is shorter than the other, and so like, look, now they are the same,
Mm,
so that it's actually possible with this very gentle internal movement, which at the same time I always feel has such a strong positive effect on my nervous system, because
mm,
I feel so deeply relaxed and restored, even though when we come to the point where I have to sit first, I lie down and then I sit, and then I'm always like, oh my God, I could just lie more. But the
mm,
sitting, the part when you work the lines up the spine, are restoring me even more.
mm.
What happens there? Because there's something in Kalevalainen where you work with those lines. Can you explain them a little bit?
Yeah. So these lines that we work through, with this gentle touch, they come from the tradition. Like they're taught just as lines. Like there's the first, second, and da da da, and like different lines. But when you look at them a bit closer, like you can see that in some places they follow the neural lines, the nerves, but also the fascial lines and the meridians. So it's kind of a mixture of all those. But the most important thing is that the practitioner feels the lines in their fingers. So when I touch the body, I start feeling where does the line go in this particular body and where is it blocked. And then there are different techniques, like sometimes you release more the joint, sometimes you start more from the muscles, sometimes it's just a point that you work on, like releasing some really small area, and just to get that kind of, it's in a way you get the energy flowing, but you also see that the joints start aligning. It's like it's very intuitive also in a way, like you kind of go into this zone where you observe and feel at the same time, and then you have these analytical remarks going through your head about the anatomy and how things work, like
Mhm.
the logical level.
Yeah, that's how it feels a little bit. It's like passing through places, and then it's almost like you're creating a new pathway to something through
Mm,
through those lines touching, and then it feels like something is gotten out of the way, if I
yeah,
can describe it like that, right?
yeah, yeah, it's like removing old energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a way. I mean, that's, well, it's always, of course, because it's a handicraft in a way. Like all us who do this treatment, we do it a little bit differently, and we have our own vocabulary for it. Because I'm quite sensitive to energy, I often talk about energy, but of course, I could talk also about like the muscles or the functional lines or whatever terms you want to use. But for me, always this this opening the blocked energy has always been kind of one of the main things.
Mm.
I feel that that is something that restricts the movement a lot.
Yes. And that's exactly also what makes it so interesting, that
Mm,
it's not just like it's the body and you take care of the body and everything else you can forget about, but it's more like it's like in the yoga. Your
mm,
body is so important, and because through the body we are moving those energies. And so whether it's a treatment or an asana, it's movement, right? It's so much more than the body. And when people understand that, because sometimes some say like, oh, I take massage, and I mean, of course, it depends. There's so many different massages out there, and they also probably have their own levels. But if it feels like it's very on the surface, it's direct muscular skeletal release. But I feel like when you get that you feel the nervous system so concrete, that you
mm,
know something much deeper is happening. And I'm very sensitive to go to treatments in general, because for me, the practitioner is the one who is holding the energy, who's sharing energy, taking energy. So it's also energetic. And you say yourself, you're so sensitive yourself as well. And that's why we are attracted to each other probably as well. And I cannot just go to anyone and say like, yeah, just do this treatment on me, because I also feel, and I think they say that in Chinese medicine as well, that when you get a treatment, you also take the energy from the person. So I want to have that person also have pure energy, same as in yoga, right? The yoga teacher has to go through their own cleansing in order to give. Otherwise, if I carry a lot of crap in me, I'm going to give that to my students as well. I think that has been a little bit lost in the yoga world as well.
yes, yes, I completely agree. Yeah. And yeah, something you said made me think this, like, how did you say it, like that it's also like it's not just the treatment or the yoga class, like we move, yeah, like how we move with our bodies through life. And I had this insight, actually, I think it was your in your yoga class some time ago, that like for example, like if my hip flexors are tight, and the way I walk, I mean, it affects immediately the way I walk,
Mhm.
which is the way I move forward in life. I mean, the body, like if you think that you have a very stiff body and how you use it in every moment in your life, in every day. I mean, that's energy. That's like the flow of life.
Yes.
When the movement of the body changes, it has to affect the flow of life. I mean, because they are there with, we are there with, we are here. We're not there, we're here with our bodies, which is really an expression of us. So I find this movement somehow like it's, yeah, it's really, it's fascinating, and it's so important also.
Absolutely. I mean, if somebody would say like, I don't really need body work. I think body work is as important as doing a yoga practice, or as like going for a walk or brushing your teeth, because when we need support from others as well. I always see like when somebody asks me yoga or treatment, I say like both, because the yoga is the everyday, because it keeps you going, because you can take care of it yourself. But every now and again, like, every 3 weeks, 4 weeks, then you go to somebody and who puts you back into place. And then the practice you're doing, it doesn't matter, even if you don't do yoga, if you go to the gym or do some other sports, it will support you then.
Yes, yes. And also, of course, I was just thinking about people who are then like become immobile for some reason, like for like there's an illness or something, accident. Um, and in a way, um, there as well, like the way the body is, like for some reason, for example, then, well, I'm thinking like it's a different opportunity in a way for to experience, you're still experiencing the flow of life but from a different perspective, but just to maybe to, you know, to have this understanding like that, how we are in the stream with whatever we do or whatever the stage of the body is. And like that, even the stiffness, like we of course we often come to yoga because we feel stiff, or
Mhm.
to an alignment treatment because we have a pain or some limitation in the movement of the body. And then just that, already that understanding that this is my situation, I'm living through this with my body. I mean, it already helps.
Mm.
And maybe it's also part of that mental openness that there is, in a way, the body always has a purpose when it's expressing something.
Yes, definitely. Wow, yeah. And I mean, maybe somebody wouldn't think about, like, I hear people saying like, oh, I have this back pain, I have an appointment with the doctor, and I'm just like, you're probably going to get on painkillers, because I don't think they do much. And then also, there's of course physiotherapists. Can you say a little bit what's the difference between a physiotherapy and what you do?
Well, therapists, of course, they are professionals in giving you these like movements that you can do to ease your situation yourself, which is, of course, very helpful. Um, Nowadays, I think there is maybe a little bit more of touching the client, which is good. I think that they're more touching, but I think it used, well, I may have outdated information, but the last time I heard, the difference was still that they would think more in a way, of the physiology side, like thinking what's wrong and then suggesting like different kinds of movements, and maybe testing like which movement is not working. And that is of course like helpful. But I think that physiotherapy, like all treatments, is developing into this softer
Mm.
way. And in this alignment therapy that I do, well, the main difference is that we always go through the whole body, because you want to go through the entire lines or the line system. Um, and yeah, to kind of find, if not the root cause, something that is as close as possible to the root cause.
Yeah, that makes so much sense, because that's what I understood as well from people who go to physio, that it's very local. It's focused on that one thing, but it's not to do only with that thing. It's everything.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
in that what you do, it's really from the feet up every part of the body, and it feels like more it's a holistic practice, right?
Yeah, and sometimes even with the same client, like some treatment can be more physical, like with the physical body. Some treatment is really emotional, and then some it's like because we are different people every day also, so
Mhm.
so vary. But in this treatment, what I really appreciate myself is that it's holistic in a way that it kind of approaches this all these different levels in a way, like the body, the feelings, but also the mind is affected. It's not uncommon that people say that they started thinking differently about something of an issue, which is it's interesting. Like what ha-
Yeah.
yeah, and for example, just this example of having like the legs are not even length. There is something in the hip that is pulling, like the hip joint is pulling the thigh bone up and maybe distorting it a little bit. Quite often, when that problem disappears and the legs are even length, there's more balance. Like somehow the client or the person starts to feel more balanced. They may change something in their life, like they start feeling that no, I have to change something in the outer environment, like this job is not good for me, or actually the relationship I'm in, it hasn't been really satisfying for me for a long time, or that this you start to see the balance also like outside of that person, which is also a very yogic idea.
It's amazing. Well, then you know it works.
Yeah.
That's truly holistic.
Mm.
Right. So, Lena, for those people in Helsinki, where can they find you?
Well, I'm in Etutöölö now at Van Rekkistolin katu 1, and there is this wonderful hairdresser, Hanna, who is an ecological hairdresser, and she's got a salon, which is such a great place to be. There's like such an amazing community around that place, and she's got also a treatment space, a treatment room, like joined to her business. So I'm working there at the moment.
Okay, okay. So I could, you have a website, right?
Yeah, I have a website. Yes,
So, and through the website, there's a link where people can book the treatment.
yes.
Okay, well, I will link that there, definitely. And then you get to see, those of you who come to the studio, you will see Lena also sometimes in class, which is very nice. And you can talk to her about it as well, because I think it's where whenever you can speak before you actually get into the treatment, it can be very nice to get to know and trust as well.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, well, thank you so much for this, Lena. I
Thank
really
you.
look forward to the next treatment and to seeing you as well. And we always have super nice conversations about anything related, alignment, yoga, spirituality, energy,
Didn't talk about meditation yet.
meditation. Yes. Okay, thanks so much for joining, and thank everyone for listening to us today. I see you in another video or at the studio. Bye.
Bye.